So, fam, speaking of Bernie Sanders, this section is something that is kind of personal, and it's also personal to a lot of people who fought really hard for Bernie Sanders. Now, in 2016, the delegate process was entirely different. Obviously, Bernie went all the way to the convention. Delegates were not told they couldn't speak to media. Delegates were not muzzled in any way, shape, or form about not speaking against Hillary Clinton. They tried to do that, but it didn't happen. Now, the DNC Convention let out a recent press release where they pretty much confirmed that it will take place in Milwaukee. It will take place in August, but it'll be virtual for the delegates and for everybody else. So I'm going to read a little bit of this. The convention will engage and unite more Americans than ever before. Delegates will conduct official party business without risking public health. The DNCC announced today their convention plan to broadcast from Milwaukee and across the nation in a convention geared to reach out to all Americans. The DNCC reiterated that the Democratic Party's commitment to holding a convention that would protect public health while transforming the convention experience for delegates and viewers. Convention planners said that the host city, Milwaukee, would anchor the events for the week, and that programming would include both live broadcasts and curated content from Milwaukee and other satellite cities, locations, landmarks across the country. Okay. So, over here it says Vice President Biden intends to proudly accept his party's nomination in Milwaukee and take the next step forward towards making Donald Trump a one-term president. Okay. So the whole point of a convention, in case you guys don't know, is to demand, if you have another candidate there, if he hasn't officially gotten the numbers to be the nominee, you would have Bernie Sanders there kind of contesting to get whatever he could get to make sure that Biden adopts a certain platform. At this point, Joe Biden doesn't need Bernie Sanders or his delegates. Joe Biden has clinched the nomination. On top of that, the delegates that were chosen because they did not put out in their social media anything that said, do not vote for Joe Biden, anything that was against Joe Biden, anything like that. They were chosen a long time ago. Only people who were not vocal about their disdain of Joe Biden. Those were the delegates that were chosen. Okay. They just picked the at-large delegates, by the way, who were also people that were not vocal about not liking Joe Biden because he's not progressive. On top of all of that, there was they had to sign an NDA and a social media contract where they were not allowed to talk or speak ill of Joe Biden or the Democratic establishment as delegates. So on top of that, there was that. What the hell is the point of even having a convention with all that? And now it's going to be virtual. So forget any sort of protesting, any sort of organizing, any sort of anything, because now it's virtual. So all the people that were trying to convince themselves that oh yes, we're going to push Joe Biden to the left because Bernie Sanders is wonderful, and all of us, we're just going to work really hard and sit on a board with John Kerry and Simone Sanders and a bunch of neoliberals who don't give a crap and don't have a conscience, and they're magically going to change their mind and accept Medicare for all. I'm sorry, but that is naive. It is naive at best. And the fact is, you're not going to push Joe Biden left because you're not going to push Big Pharma. You're not going to push the insurance companies. You're not going to push the oil money lobbyists. You're not going to push any of these people the Democratic establishment takes money from away from existence. You're not going to push them away by sitting in a round table and just feeling good that with your ego that you are a Bernie delegate and that somehow that's going to make a change. I'm not trying to discourage people from fighting. Actually, I think the fighting is not going to happen in that room. It's not going to happen in the electorate. It's not going to happen with Joe Biden. The fighting is happening outside. People are organizing and building, and we need people to focus on that. Obviously support those progressives like Charles Booker and all of the people that are running. But as far as the change in the electorate, that's going to be a very slow change. We don't have any power when it comes to the presidential nomination. We don't have any power when it comes down to anything right now within the electorate. We just don't. Our votes don't even count right now. Like, our system is so corrupt. What do you do when your votes don't count? When you're being silenced, you have to take action outside of the electorate. And America is not used to doing that. They're so used to just voting and thinking that it's enough. It's not enough. Voting is the start. And it's just so ridiculous to me to think that this was ever going to accomplish anything. And do you have anything to say on that really quickly?
Yeah, I mean, they totally hurt us. The NSA and Deep State totally hurt us when we were like, we're going to Milwaukee no matter what. No matter what, we're going.
Yeah.
And now they literally made it so there's no reason to go. There's no reason to go to Milwaukee. I'm curious about everyone who bought hotel rooms and everything like that, about how they're getting a refund. Yeah, it's really ridiculous. You see the last segment we just did, the election delegates. You've seen our work here in LA. You've seen all these protests happening. So it's time to get to the streets, basically, and demand change. And if they don't give that, then the next step is I don't know what the next step is. But there's always ways that you can help. Like go out to your local community and just drive around and see if there are protests going on. Listen to what the protesters are saying. Listen to what they're saying, and support if you believe in their message. And there's various ways to support. There's the free ways. You can follow their social media. You can share their content. You can donate money. You can bring water bottles to protesters. You can bring food, snacks to protesters. You can bring clothes. I don't know. You're swimming coach and you have extra goggles. Bring some goggles so they can get tear gases. There's so many ways that you can help. So that's all I have to say about that.
And I just want to point out this fact that according to organizers and regular protocol of the convention, official business would be to approve the platform and nominate president and vice president, meaning Joe Biden and his chosen running mate. That is all these delegates are there to do. So if they thought they were going to negotiate the most progressive platform in history, first of all, I don't know why you would think that. Joe Biden is a Republican. You're not going to. And people kept sending me this article. Ro Khanna, Bernie Sanders' California forces want Ro Khanna instead of Gavin Newsom. And people were pushing that as if it was some sort of wonderful thing. Like, oh, Ro Khanna instead of Gavin Newsom. Ro Khanna is a weak progressive. It doesn't matter. If it's Ro Khanna, if it's Gavin Newsom, it doesn't matter. You're not going to get anything out of it. Why are we so focused on this when we could be directing all of our attention on organizing with what's going on outside? Jonny and I, he has a video you already said it's to release.
Yeah, well, yeah, we're gonna show a little bit
of it, but there are things happening right now that are uniting everything together, because we are about to experience another 2008 economic collapse, like worse than what it was before. And so people are organizing for that. So again, that is a waste of time. I don't want to hear about pushing Biden. You're not going to push Biden when the money interests are there and he's taking their money. That's what people don't realize. The money interests are there and he's taking their money. Unless you get rid of all the oil lobbyists, the big pharma bros, the insurance companies, all of these people, you're not going to get what you want, because that's everything else is talk. Talk is cheap. He can say, oh, yes, we're going to do this. We're going to get Medicare for all. He hasn't even said that. He doesn't need to, because they take you for granted because you keep telling them that you're going to vote for them no matter what they do to you. It is an abusive relationship, and that relationship has to end. There's no other way of going about it.